Shalom, beloved family. It's your girl Sophia Spiritualite. And this is a very special activating the fruits because I have no idea what this is intended to activate, to be honest. I came across this information. It was impressed upon me with extreme importance that this was really important information, of which I really haven't had a chance to read, but a few key things struck out to me that made me think, this is information I have to pass along. So I'm going to include a link to the book in the bio so you guys can take a look at it. I guess I forgot to say that. This is my second time recording this video. So, some of the stuff is hopefully going to sound a little more confident. Although, like I said, I have no idea what this information is. I don't know what it means. I recognize some certain concepts, which is why it was impressed upon me to bring this out. And I, uh, so, like I said, y'all didn't hear me the first time. I was actually looking for a term to describe my angel readings because it's not really, I'm not really a astrologer per se. I read the angels, which is I was looking for a term that talked about the celestial aspect. So, in just searching for that term, I came across this information, and first of all, the exact term that I wanted to use was already in this book, on this website. And I said, well, what is that? I mean, who is somebody else doing this? Because again, if I'm copying somebody else's work, I would like to see how they do it so that I can get some insight. So I went over, to this particular thing, and this is a whole nother thing. This reminds me this so well, I wasn't around when you guys got the books of remembrance, but this feels like a books of remembrance or keys of Enoch type of moment. With this information, there's something very I don't know, compelling. Even though I haven't read anything, just the little bit that I read was like, you have to do a video. And I'm like, but I don't even know what I'm doing a video on. It doesn't matter, just fire up the recording engine and start talking. And I'm assuming the angels will deliver the words, the message that need to be delivered. So I titled this video Militarian Philosophy. I don't even know if that's the proper term that we should use. So let's take a look at the website. So this website is called Astronism, and it's heralding the transcension of humanity. And it's the philosophy and astro religion of astronism. And this is what we believe at Astroness. So Astronism teaches that that outer space should become the central element of our practical, spiritual, and contemplative lives. This emphasis on outer space in our faith and knowledge is known as cosmocentrism. This is contrasted with other forms of centricity, such as geocentrism, which is focusing on your location, and anthropocentrism, which is anthropo is the for the love of something. So I would say loving self, the love of self. So they want you, so now I'm starting to get a different perspective on this. So they don't want you to love where you're from, and they don't want you to love yourself. They want you to love the cosmos and put the cosmos as the center of who you are. Well, um, it says to which astronism is opposed. So that's kind of like a huge red flag and a huge green flag at the same time, because astronism is opposed to it. But what about the words that you obviously copied from someone, one of our tablets? Is that opposed? So anyway, let's continue on. The cosmos is one of the most common terms used when speaking about beliefs of astronism, with it being the central entity of worship, spirituality, and knowledge in the astronist faith. It refers to outer space but also encompasses the terms progeny and phenomena. basically everything that happens in outer space, the former of which relates to celestial bodies such as planets, stars, galaxies, while the latter pertains to comic events such as supernovas. The astronist theology states the cosmos is a whole, animate, and divine entity. Okay, I'm not opposed to that, but you know, okay, let's keep reading. I'm starting to get an idea. The purpose of faith in astronism is to encourage adherents to create a closer relationship between themselves and the cosmos. I just don't know how this is different from anthroposophy, but here we go. There is a belief that every person holds a duty and ability to connect with the cosmos as a whole via its progeny. Progeny, why do they keep using that term? Phenomena and through observation, devotion, and acknowledgement. Why would they use it like that? As a part of a person's wider spiritual awareness and philosophical development. Okay, so let's look up this word progeny because they've already used it twice. Let's see. Progeny. Let's see. It says a descendant or the descendants of a person, animal, or plant or offspring. So, okay, let's go back to what we're reading. Okay, the ability to connect with the cosmos as a whole via its offspring. Why not just say its offspring? Its children. You mean the children of light? Okay. Now I'm got a whole different thing. Hold on, let's see. Okay, let's keep going. And phenomena through observation. Let's put progeny in up here. It refers to the outer space but also encompasses the terms children and phenomena. Okay. All right, here we go. Astronism is an organized philosophy, which means that it is entirely governed and protected by an institution. Here we go. The institution of the philosophy of militism, Teo Tpom, Teotpom. And they got it in all caps. That's, name of the Most High. All right. This distinguishes it from other philosophies like Buddhism or Confucianism, which have fragmented structures of governance rather than a single proprietor. Okay, so basically what this saying is it's another Catholic church, right? With one leader. One person is in charge of this particular philosophy, and you can put whatever philosophy up under it you want as long as the cosmos or the worship of the children of the cosmos is its center. Therefore, astronism does not self identify as a religion. It doesn't, but although you may see it classified as a religion by external organizations for administrative purposes, because it doesn't hold a definitive doctrine and is based on individual interpretation and an amalgamation ama- amalgamation of one's own beliefs with those presented as part of astronism. So basically, that just means I know what that word means, but I can't ever say it. It's just a combining of it, all right? A mixture. Rather than being based on dogmatic instruction to its adherents, astronism focuses on providing a set of concepts, theories, and dichotomized beliefs regarding topics such as the cosmos and the issue of death, which adherents are then encouraged to interpret using their own beliefs and those which have been provided to them. This forms that which will be known as the philosophical spirit. Okay, the nature of how astronism acts and how it is presented is intrinsically linked with the nature of philosophy itself. The philosophical spirit encompasses a set of ambiguous principles and guidelines, which primarily includes accepting that opposing opinions exist, rationally justifying one's own views, and presenting one's own views logically, thus not simply relying on faith. Astronism is one of the largest philosophies in the world in terms of number of concepts and beliefs that reside within it, of which there are thousands across all 12 inclusive disciplines. I was like, 12 disciplines? Why is that highlighted? Okay, despite the vastness of astronism, its core ideas can be summarized through the collection known as the Seven Tenets of Association, which you can learn more by clicking here. All right, so I'm going to show y'all what that click leads to, but first I want to read this part. And this is why I was like, wait, what? Okay, common questions. Who founded Astronism? It was found by a cometon, a comet, basically. A British philosopher and author founded the philosophy of Astronism. What is the book of Astronism called? The book solely written by cometon. That was my first red flag on this page. I was like, one person wrote a book, okay, which founded Astronism is called the Omnidoxy. The Omnidoxy. What in the world? And is over 1.2 million words long in total length. Okay, so wait a minute. One man wrote a document that's over a million words long, and this book is super long. You mean to tell me, and that 1.2 is total to 3. So first we have a 7, and now we have a 3. All right. So I was first we have a 12. I'm sorry. First we have a 12, then we have a 7, then we have a 3. I was like, huh, that's interesting. When and where was Astronism founded? Astronism was founded in the northwest of England in the 21st or 3rd century and around the city of Preston, which is also the birthplace of its founder, Comitan. All right, so let's take a look at where that click link goes to. It goes here. Hopefully this thing is, this is weird. So first this page came up for me, but I was confused because I was like, well, it's on fandom, so this is obviously for gamers, right? What is this? What is going on here? But as you will see, it is not. I don't know what it is. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. So it says the seven tenets of association. The seven tenets of association is the collective appellation for the seven most prominent beliefs within astronism that allow a person or group to self identify with astronism. For these reasons, these different tenets of belief and principles are most often incited in order to differentiate between astronist oriented thinkers and those that are not astronist thinkers. However, the use of the tenets in this way remains questionable by the standards of the philosophical spirit. The seven tenets are as follows: the centrality of humanity's exploration of the cosmos. Humanity's exploration of the cosmos is the central factor. That's weird. All right. The centrality of the philosophy in society and civilization, which is Recen, Recensionism. Recensionism. I've never heard of a word like that. The belief in cosmocentricity. The belief in the cosmos holding the answers of existence. The belief in the of five. The belief in the affirmation of sentient life beyond the Earth cosmos, holding an adoration and wonderment, as well as the practice of the generation of different devotions to the cosmos. A greater knowledge equals a greater understanding of God being in reality, which they call acknowledgement. So now we know what acknowledgement is. From the perspective of the militarian tradition, the main aspect relating these tenets is that they are not to be taken literally and they are not to be considered tenets in a religious context where pertains to an inability to identify oneself with the philosophy if one does not believe in one or more of these tenets. For this reason, these tenets are not grave in nature, so a disbelief in any one of them could still be identifiable for a militarian person. Additionally, there are many principal aspects of the philosophy of militism that are not addressed within the seven tenets, but the establishment of these tenets does set a precedence for the general orientation of militism and characterizes its atmosphere and nature, thus pertaining to the purpose of the seven tenets. The centrality of humanity's exploration of the cosmos. The primary element of the philosophy of militism essentially holds that humanity must explore the cosmos in order to learn more about its own reality, about humanity's true role in the wider existence beyond Earth, as well as humanity's self reflection, thus forming many different belief orientations concerning this topic. This first tenet is very closely associated with the third tenet of cosmocentricity, and this also involves notions about humanity's responsibility to the cosmos, as well as including concepts such as cosmic stewardship, space colonization, and new world development. All right, the centrality in society and civilization, which they call reasonionism. Reascensionism. Oh, reascensionism. Weird. Okay. Reascensionism. Oh, to go back to where we came from. The second tenet of the philosophy of militism pertains to a military and metaphilosophical ideas about what role philosophy should play in every society, as well as pertaining to ideas such as philosophy philosophin, philosophi, philosoph, philosophocentricity. Woo! Organized philosophy and the identity and role of philosophers in society and communities. This tenet is encapsulated by the belief orientation of re-ascensionism, which predicates itself on the notion that philosophy has been devalued, undermined, and decentralized as a part of modern society by other forces. Re-ascensionist thought calls for the return to philosophy to its central place in social order and societal structure, inspired by the role of the philosophy in ancient Greek dodge the hijack society. Re-ascensionist ideas, when collectivized together, form a core element of the militarian philosophical tradition. So not only the philosophy of militism, thus demonstrating the prominent role that reascensionism holds in the military philosophical methodology of inquiry, as well as the militarian approaches to philosophy. Okay, I don't know why they had to use all these words. You can see all the hijacks right there. But it seems to me that our ability to ascend, to reascend basically, um collectively, like all of us together reascending, is the central element. And it's basically saying that reascension is a prominent part of the military and philosophical methodology, which basically means the way that they think about the philosophy of militarian, whatever it is. I mean, this is too many words. Okay, the third tenet, the belief in cosmocentricity. The third tenet of the philosophy of militism centers on the notion of cosmocentricity, which involves the idea that the cosmos as an entire entity should play a central role in human belief, practice, thought, and civilization. Cosmocentric thought is celebrated as the underpinning of how militarian approaches to thought, belief, and practice can be characterized. Cosmocentricity itself is characterized according to the centrality of belief and practice of the cosmos, as well as progeny, which is the children of the cosmos, and the phenomena of the cosmos, the events that happen in the cosmos and the children of the cosmos. Okay? The belief in the cosmos holds answers to existence, the answers of existence. The fourth tenet of the philosophy of militism can be considered a close extension of the previous tenet of cosmocentricity and is accorded by the notion that the cosmos is the primary source of ontological, existential, and metaphysical and theological. I hate all these words. Oh my goodness. Answers, thus pertaining to the centrality of the cosmos in military and philosophy, the belief in greater possibilities of sentience in the cosmos, which is sentientism. The fifth tenet of the philosophy of POM, or PM, we'll just call it PM, is predicated on the strong belief in the existence of intelligent life beyond Earth, as well as life of all its forms, which is a major characteristic element of military and philosophical tradition. This belief is orientation known as syntheism. So basically, believing in the beings that are on other planets. This is where I was like, okay, so all right, so their primary belief is just that there's life on other planets. So that's why someone had already stolen my word of celestiology, basically, because if you're looking at the angels, then you're looking at the beings on other planets because we know how that works. All right. So, holding an adoration and wonderment as well as the generations devotions to the cosmos women. I won't reread that. I sounded crazy. The sixth tenet of PM involves the importance of cosmic devotion in the philosophy of militism, which forms many concepts and belief orientations and is a primary formulator of the practices of the philosophy of militism. Devotion to the cosmos exists in a large variety of forms, whether in direct personal inspiration and in a what? Why use that word? Setting or by way of mutual devotion. All right. Next, a greater knowledge equals a greater understanding of God being a reality. The seventh and final tenet of PM pertains to the importance of in acknowledgement. So like in understand, overstand, in knowing within yourself. In the militarian philosophy tradition, due to the constant enhancement and expansion of the extent of one's knowledge, considered to be an important element of what philosophy stands for and as a metaphilosophical concept. All right, so that was it for that, and I was just like, okay, that all of that is quite weird. um Let me see if I had something pulled up over here. Okay, that was just the book. All right, well, let's take a look at the book. We're over here on Archive. I have the book listed. And like I said, I'll put the links to those two websites as well in the bio so you guys can do your own investigation. And when I clicked on the book, now, like, this is free on Archive, free, which is weird. First of all, it's 2,600 pages. How did someone write, one person by themselves, write a book that's 2,600 pages? Since when, son? Do you know how much 2,600 pages is when you're looking at a book? 2,600 pages? And let's see, we got 9, 10, 11. Let's see, 2 and 6 is 8, 10, 19, 20. And it's the number of Michael, two-step Michael. That's a little odd that you come to a number that's literally two-step Michael. All right, because this obvious. So before I go on, like I said, this is these are all the things that popped out to me when I was going through this stuff. I have not read deeply into it, but it felt important. Again, I'm saying that because I have no idea what's going to happen when we start flipping through this book. But the first thing I noticed is that it had cursive on the front page. And I was like, huh, that's weird. Is that supposed to be the cover? Just a plain piece of paper with in cursive? That's weird. And then I looked at this, of course it um now this was also very strange to me because it says it's written by Kamitan, the comic guy, and it's the mononym for Brandon Taylorian. Of course, you think of the Mandalorian, like that's just is something from the Who's Not Here. And then it says the People's Constitutional Company of Jesse Millett. Well, who is Jesse Millett? I hope that in this book it gets to this because literally this man must have copied this. There's no other way. So let's keep looking and see. And of course, it has no page numbers. So you just got to flip through and find these different sections, which is a red flag and a green flag at the same time. The red flag is, you know, nobody would ever take the time to go through all of this because it's ridiculous. Um, but at the same time, you'll at least know what's in here. And um, I'm trying to see. And then another thing I thought was crazy is you see it has the monodoxy, the duodoxy, the tridoxy, the tetradoxy. I was like, wait a second. Orthodoxy is the order of what does ortho mean? Let's look that up. Let's pull a page. Let's see what it says. It says straight, rectangular, or upright. It means straight. Okay, so this is called not an orthodoxy. Um, What did he say on the other website? It was not orthodoxy. It was cosmodoxy no, the name of this book is called. No, wait. Y'all, I know I'm not crazy. Hold on. Are they changing stuff in real time on me? Because I just saw him say something about some kind of doxy, and I was like, what the heck, man? So, orthodoxy, here we go. Let's see. We're going to find this out. Oh, omnidoxy. Okay. So, orthodoxy is straight. Omni is what? Multiple directions? This is in all ways or places. So, ortho is from one way, the way, quote unquote Yahweh Shai, that's the way. Omnidoxy is all the ways. It can come from any direction. So that's also very interesting. But as you can hear, also see in here, then it's got all the different directions. The mono, the one way, the two way, the three way, the four way, the five way, the six way, the seven way, the eight way, the nine way, the 10 way, the 11 way, the 12 way. Okay. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, dodeca is 13. That's why I was like, I think I missed one. Okay, so this Omnidoxy document has 13 doxies listed with it, which is all the doxies are related to geometry, meaning mono is a geometry, duo, tri. Well, not all of them because, but dodeca, that's the whole. Um, this is so confusing. Let me see. Okay, so the same gentleman that discovered or rediscovered the chestahedron also discovered or rediscovered an object called a dodecahedron. And so the chestahedron had seven sides, and it's the only basically the only shape with equal volume on the sides or equal area on the sides that actually um have seven sides. It's a non-organic shape, right? It's or is it inorganic? I don't know, but it's a very special shape the chestahedron is. So the dodecahedron, the chestahedron can fit inside of it as well, just like it fits inside of the cube. It can fit inside of the dodecahedron, and the dodecahedron is the only solid that has 13 sides, and it's also the same shape as the C60. If anybody has ever heard of that with Buckminster Fullerton, that's a little bit down of a different rabbit hole, but I just want to throw that out there because these are the things that stood out to me. So I'm like, wait, you got a dodeca? Hold on, I know exactly what what that is. You can't lie to me. So as we scroll down, I was like, okay, so it says for the furtherance of oneself, the betterment of all peoples, for the final meeting with one's creator when all one was, one is, and one will be becomes as one, and you shall see nothing but divinity. Okay. Then it has the preamble. Okay, and so when I got to this point, I said, is this whole book in cursive? Now, okay, so we got to pause and think about this for 1 second before I go any further. When have you ever seen a book written in cursive? I mean, this font looks just like cursive. When have you ever seen, first of all, children don't even know how to read cursive. So, when have you ever seen a font written in cursive? This is, you know, shocking and unusual at the same time. So that was the final, like, let me start sending this out to people because I don't know what this is. That was the final thing that got me. Did another one of my charms fall off? Y'all, all my charms are falling off. On it. Give me that. Thank you. That's my charm. That's my Sadikio charm. All right, so um So I've never seen, and all the books all the books we've read, all the books I've downloaded, I've never seen a book that's actually written in cursive. And so that, like I said, that was the final straw for me. I was like, let me just start sending this out. I've never seen anything like this. It's basically like the equivalent of putting it in Latin for today, or the equivalent of putting it in some other, language, basically, because the young people, they can't read cursive, who's going to be, and it's hard to read, especially if you're not used to reading it. And this font is quite small. So let's they have the 25 foundations. We're not going to read that. Let's read the preamble. It says, written by this guy, first chairman and constitutional leader. Wait a minute. Why do a philosophy need a constitutional leader? Let's keep going. Of the People's Constitutional Company of Jesse Millet, for those who wish to enlighten themselves on the philosophy of militism, the grand centrality is hereby declared, the official documentation upon which the philosophy of militism is inscribed. Thus, the grand centrality mustn't be obscured by any persons, though official amendments can be made in accordance with the statement of amendments. Those who read the grand centrality may interpret its ideas however they please, though it must be specified that the grand centrality does not endorse its words as religious, nor does it encourage its words to be interpreted as a religious practice. The philosophy of militism, thank you, sir, not for you. The philosophy of militism, um, in accordance with the wishes of Brandon Taylorian, mustn't rival religions, as militism itself isn't intentionally religious, though it can work alongside and be entwined with religions and their universal beliefs, ideologies, and practices. Okay, sorry, y'all. I have a small micro terrorist right here who's intent on destroying everything in my room. Um, all right. Isn't intentionally religious, though it can work alongside and be entwined with religions and their universal beliefs, ideologies, and practices. Thus, a person reading the grand centrality must understand, if applicable, that their own religious scripture eclipses the writings of the grand centrality and mustn't take action that would intervene with their own religious obligations, practices, and values. Okay, they're clearly saying that because they don't want the Pope to come through and say, you're starting a new religion. Oh, come on now, you're taking my stuff apart. They don't want the Pope to come through and say, you're starting a new religion that's illegal. We're going to arrest you and lock you up forever, you know? So, that's what that is about. The grand centrality can be read chronologically from the first text to the last, or only a single text may be read, as that text may hold the most significance for the respective reader. The universal philosophy inscribed throughout the grand centrality can be implemented into everyday thought process, and the usage of the philosophy of militism in the event of decision making is encouraged. The grand centrality does not endorse religious worship of its philosophy, nor does it endorse the idea of the creation of a humanized God, nor does it endorse the notion of a narrow or fundamentalist violent interpretation of its philosophy. So none of that Muslimism, right? The grand centrality of the philosophy of militism is hereby founded on the 21st day of the month of July in the year 2016. What else came out in 2016? Seems like you guys got that document, or some of those documents called the Books of Remembrance. I think those came out around 2016. This whole Great Awakening really started in 2016. Like, a lot of stuff was happening in, the 400 years was almost up in 2016, and that's when this guy founds this thing. And of course, it start the 21st day of July. So um we've got the sun in the 21st day of July in Leo. Um And let's see, what's the numerology? So we've got 7, 3. Wait a minute. 2016. Let me see. 2, 1 and 6 is 7, 9. Okay, so you got 3, 7, 9 as your numbers with this day. And then of course if you add up 3, 7, and 9, 7, 3 and 7 is 10, 10 and 9 is 19, 20 step Michael. Again. So that's the second time we have Michael in the mist. That's pretty significant. All right, it's available to the minds of all. Okay, so now this is weird too. Some of the stuff. Okay, so first of all, we already know this is going to be a problem. It says the 25 re-foundations of philosophy. So this is a new philosophy, as if we don't have enough philosophies, but this is supposed to be the one philosophy. So let's see what we can glean from this. Definition of philosophy: the organization of foundational ideas, thoughts, and concepts into coherent and meaningful systems, in addition to the study of established systems and their fundamental natures, beliefs, and practices. So they're telling you to put this alongside of your Jesus or whatever. So it says no worshiping and no rituals. Okay. There are philosophical buildings, places of philosophy, but there are no doctrines to say how often people should visit such buildings or places, what they should do in those buildings or places. There exists no initiation rites or ceremony, nor does exist any requirements of induction. There is a central text, the grand centrality within which the omnidoxy rests as the core of militarian philosophical documentation. No mandatory belief practice. All beliefs and belief practice are interpretational. 6. Minimal mention of supernatural. What? Especially not the worship of the supernatural. This document is all over the place. Okay, so you can't worship the supernatural, but you're supposed to worship the cosmos, which is supernatural. Here we go, you guys. I don't know. It's no sacred objects, places, or times. Well, that's trash. No spiritual difference between okay, I'm not reading all of this. Um, the identity and purpose of the philosopher. Skip that. The absolute notions of the cosmos. I'm not going to read that. The reascension of philosophy. The commencement of the cosmos. The Endorianum, the observatory, the promontory, and the planetarium. What? Okay, I'm not reading all that right now. Okay, wait. So now we have that was 20 pages in, and now we have the Omnidoxy, which starts here on page 20, and this was patented in the UK. Um, and it was put in the Library of Congress too. It's available from the British Library, and it's got a bunch of different editions. Okay, sorry, the little munchkin is I have to hold him. Anyway, the big giant man child. Um, let's see. Let's see what this says. This is very weird. It says nihil obstant, which is a person's name, imprimatur, person's name. So the nihil obstant and imprimatur are a declaration that the publication is considered to be free from doctrinal or moral error. It is not implied those who have granted the nihil obstant and imprimatur agree with the contents, opinions, or statements expressed. References to religion are ideology, not to be offended. Okay, what's that's weird. Okay, so here we go, unnumbered again. Um, Very weird document here, and it's got a pre-pen prependices. What type of word is that? Okay, I've never heard of a prependency. And again, this doesn't have the page numbers on. Uh-oh. A tradition of polyagency, relating to the fact that militarian philosophical tradition, and especially the philosophy of militism, is not only a written tradition from its inception rather than an oral tradition, but is also a virtual tradition from its inception. So this is purely virtual. Purely virtual. That's very odd as well. Thank you. Sorry, we're on baby duty here. Let's see. What distraction do I have? I do have a small distraction here. Hold on. All right. Hold on. I'm sorry. Looking for a distraction here. And we have found a distraction. Success. But y'all know poly agency. Well, wait a second. So you got these books, you got these books of remembrance coming out at the same time. Then you got this thing saying in here, oh well, it's not agency, it's poly agency. Seems odd. Very, very odd. Okay, so let's. All right, we are not going to read on any of this right now. Not one bit of it. I'm just curious about how this thing can be 2,000 pages. One person wrote. Okay. Um. All right. Well, this is enough for right now. Look at this: philosophy of adulthood, philosophy of architecture, philosophy of humanity, philosophy of appointment. Um. Why does this? Why does this look like the 95 angels? Very much so. Like, what are you doing? Very much like these 95 angels I just found over the lots of fortune. Um. So I just don't know what this is, you guys. Let me see. I wanted to see if they had something about here who this Millet guy is. Well, let's look him up. Jesse Millet. What's his name? Jesse? Okay, this is the same kind of website. So the original Jesse Millet series. What? What is this? Okay, the story. Y'all see that, right? There's no story. Okay. So nobody ever bothered to actually complete this website. Now, okay, I'm getting more confused by the second. No one ever bothered to finish this website. Um, what is this? Why can't I find out who Jesse Millett is? Okay, so hold on. We got a word we recognize here. Sophism. Okay, so y'all know it's okay. Oh, Father God, this is just okay. Let's have a conversation about sophism and why this is some of the most ridiculous. Now, I'm sure someone set this up for us to find, and they were going to use this for something, and we have just co-opted their whole thing. Because anthroposophy, as I mentioned, I'm a recovering, or not recovering, but I study anthroposophy, but I'm not an anthroposophist because I believe in the Father as well. And so now you have this guy, he's using the term sophism, the philosophy of militism, also known as astronism, cosmism, and sophism. Well, how's it going to be? There is a sophism already. It's called anthroposophy, which is the study of or the philosophy of wisdom. So now they're just taking out the philosophy of rewriting. How much you want to bet this is like all of Rudolf Steiner's work rewritten? Like, yo, this is the craziest things I've ever seen. Okay, so it says this guy is also the author of the original Jesse Millett series, which is set to consist of 20 books chronicling the life of the protagonist Jesse Millett as he solves mysteries and learns his greater destiny. This guy's artistic journey began when, on his 15th birthday, 6, the idea to create a fictional mystery detective formed in his teenage mind, which was soon followed by the development of militism, and later, of course, he began writing the Omnidoxy. At 15, that doesn't sound right. At the age of 19, Michael and the Miss, Comiton managed to publish the precursory edition of the Jesse Millett and the Phantom's Curse, the first installment of the original Jesse Millett, on 17th November 2017, which marked his first. So his first book was written in 2017, but the Omnidoxy was published in 2016 by a 18-year-old. Now, I don't know any 18-year-olds that could write a 1.2 million word document in 2016. They and put it in a cursive font. All right. His idea came from the Nancy Drew books. He developed all of these characters. So basically, oh, this is what the guy looks like. Yo, yo, what in the world? British. He was born on July 1st, 98. Younger than my brother? Absolutely not. No freaking way, by the way. Okay, so I'm glad we have this documented because I feel like this was going to come back to bite us. But I would just like to point out that this website is not even built. They never even bothered to finish building the website. So let's look at this guy. We're supposed to believe that he did what? What is this? First of all, I have a book that's called The Religion of the Stars. Um, what is this? Genie. He has his genealogy. Why is this? What am I looking at? Um, I'm glad I'm documenting this so that he can't take this stuff out. 1863. So he does his actually. Whoa, Prescott. Well, Prescott, we know that's a Bush name. Okay, so you mean to tell me they couldn't find no better picture than this picture from like the 30s? He died in 98. Okay, so oh, it's a constable. Here we go. Great grandfather, Ministry of Defense policeman. Huh. Died in 99. He was an in-law. Um, Look at this. Why is it that he what why is this? Okay, we have somebody who was in Italy. First cousin twice from what is this? Okay, so he's carrying his earliest known ancestors. He's claiming ancestry back to the 1500s, right? Okay. He's carrying ancestry back to the 1500s. Y'all, I don't know what this is. This is the craziest thing I have ever seen. Why is he talking about his ancestry? Be- beauti- Beautification of the Irene Mary. What is this? Okay, this was his grandmother, his paternal grandmother. And he made her a deity in he made her a deity. What is this? I promise y'all, I don't know what they were planning on doing, but we have just found him out. He just made everybody in his family a deity. What in the heck is this? Let's see his quotes. It only takes a strong one to change all. Your heart will get you into trouble, but your strong mind will get you out of it. These are the worst quotes I've ever seen. Think about the universe and all we do not yet know and feel excited for all the possibilities. Who wrote this? The greatest weapon is the mind. What trash? I'd rather be the fool than the wise man. That way I'll be underestimated and they won't see me. Okay, I'm not reading any more of this trash. 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 Religious of recognition of belief. The heck is that? I'm not reading all of this. What is this thing with comments, man? This a, I'll say anybody finds any videos about this guy, let's see him. Um, okay, one first thing I noticed he's got a ring on the first finger of his left hand, which is weird. Um, he's got 1,000 websites with like all of these deifications. I'm just I, I'm more confused now than I was a few minutes ago. I'll tell you that much for sure. Let me see if his file of the book. This is only 36 pages. Excuse me, but does that look like the Tower of does that look like the tower on fire? um, published in 2022. Why does he have the tower on fire? That's tower moments are not good. How could he possibly know all of these words? I don't know what this is. Oh, it looks like this is a little bit more um streamlined now. Cosmocentrism, transcension, cosmosis, astrosis, ultimate automatism. What? 15-year-old Catholic boy. 15. And what does this thing do? It's just like the evil eye. You can be a cosmocentrist or a astronist without even knowing you're an astronist. That's bad. And so somehow, okay, so let's just do a brief review and then I'm going to end this video. We have a 15-year-old boy who comes up with the idea to write a book in 2016. Now, this is not talking about 1920 or 1916. This is like a few years ago. And if you don't know any 15-year-old at this stage, not going to happen. There's no amount of dedication in the world that you would write a 2,000 word document before you have even written the book that the document is allegedly about. So they so from a psyop perspective, they rolled this guy out. They didn't even finish his website. We just saw his website's not built. They roll this guy out. They pick him. He's got good ancestry because he has people in his family who were in the military. They were Prescotts, and you already, like I said, that's Bushes. They had lots of uh cops and whatever people, whoever these people are in his lineage. So they roll this guy out with his lineage and all. Yo, this is like I still don't know what to make of this, but and so they roll this guy out. They don't even finish his website. They give him a bunch of stupid ass quotes, which are stuff that not even a decent person would say. They give him, somehow he has the multimedia of a huge business. His websites are, even if they're on Wix, they're still like nice, polished websites. Weird. And but they're not even done. So how does this guy have time to write 1.2 million words, but he can't finish his website? Does that make any sense? I mean, this is stuff that's supposed to be about you. Whoever finishes website didn't even go and edit it. So we have a lot of problems right now. And he's already got a board of y'all. I just want to see what's in the document, but I did want to document. Today is November what 4th, 3rd, um November the 4th, 2022, and this astro is nist whatever religion or philosophy. It's not a philosophy that was written by this guy. It's entirely impossible that it was written by this guy. He's not even old enough to have written 1.2 million words. He wrote a philosophy before he wrote a book. The philosophy was published before the book was published. That doesn't make any sense. So we're looking at a few, but this is without even looking at the text. So we're still going to look at the text to see what useful information, because number one, this has got to be some writing from one of our people. He probably found one of his old grandfather's books or something, microfiche, whatever crap, that if he traced back to the 1500s, they probably dug it up, kept it as a family secret, and said, okay, whatever boy comes along in 2016, or before 2000, whatever child comes along, that way we can say he's a rainbow or whatever kind of child, whatever child comes along at the right time, that's the one that we're going to give all this work to, say that he wrote it, not translated, that he actually wrote a philosophy of the stars at 16. That's what they want you to believe. And then somehow he was able to get all of this done, but he has his family documented. There's no doubt about his ancestry, his genealogy. That is not left to surprise at all. This does not sound right. Something is going on here. I'm definitely going to send this information to my people to take a look at it, but we're documenting it as of today. I call BS. There's no way this guy is who he says he is. And it's a little bit too much Michael in the mist. But we know Michael Melchizedek is one of our people. And so the fact that this information comes up today, right at the time when they're publicly lynching um, Kanye and Kyrie, is no coincidence. And I feel like we're now getting in front of something that they were going to use against us. But now we're going to go so deep into it and take the useful parts, take the fruit, spit out the seeds, figure out what we can do with this and what we can make of it. But if anybody has any other insight, I would greatly appreciate it. Something does not seem right, but we are exposing these people and their trash ideas and their half done, their half ass, half done websites and now, so they're not going to be able to come out in a few years and be like, oh, this guy, he wrote this. A 16-year-old in 2016 wrote a million word book before he actually wrote the stories. No, no, I want to know who Jesse Millett is. Who is this guy? And it's not whatever he's writing in the book. That ain't what it is. I want to know who this guy is. So I'm encoding that into the ley line. Hopefully we get some more clarification and some more information. Again, I'm gonna put the links that I just checked out in the bio so you guys can go and look them up yourselves. And I'll be doing some more investigation, but something does not seem right. However, we are going to, since we know this is some of our work, we're going to take this document and we're going to take a good look at it and see what we can use from it and what is going to have to be tossed. But as of right now, I am not feeling too confident about this work. It's very, I know it's going to have good stuff in there, but it's so, all the extra stuff, I don't think it, I think that's hijacked. So this is definitely gives me, I wasn't around for the, like I said, the books of remembrance, but this is giving me a huge books of remembrance vibe. And also another thing I just thought about, as far as the British connections are concerned, right now, Redacted, that show, that news show everybody watches, is actually being filmed in Britain. You have all of the, basically all of the leaders of the free world have British loyalty. You have Kamala Harris, who is a Brit by blood on both sides. Her father was a Jamaican, but it was still under British rule at the time, and his mother is a, her his maybe her mother is an Indian, who Indian with a dot, Brahmin, who was also under British rule at that time. You have the PM of Britain is a Indian Brit. You have all these different Indian Brits out here, with these different religions. I think all of them are a different religion, so that's a whole nother thing. Then you have like I said, it's just very, very odd, very, very strange. So we're going to, me, once I get on the case, I'm going to dig it up. And we're going to find out what's going on with this, but we're going to take the information we can use, because again, this is absolutely some writings by our ancestors. There's no doubt about it. And the fact that it has Sophism in there, this absolutely some work by our ancestors. So we are going to dig into this. We are rejecting militarian philosophy in its partiality and its entirety, and we're going to reassign it by the proper name, which this is not what it is. And I don't know what the proper name is right now, but militarian ism is not it. That's not it. I don't know. I don't understand that whole thing. You're gonna write somebody's philosophy before you write the book. What is that even about? Who does that? I never seen anything like this in my life. So again, Like I said, I'm just looking at this. I mean, if you got to this point in the video, I've said this 1,000 times, but I'm going to say it again. I just got this information. I have no idea what it means. I know that whatever they were going to use it for has nothing about what it was supposed to be used for. So we're going to take this information and we're going to use it in righteousness. And if this is just how the Most High is going to return our information to us, it's going to be through these fake people and these cardboard cutouts. Hey, I'll take the information and the knowledge however the Most High wants to give it to me. And I'm going to, as I said, as I find weird stuff that jumps out to me like a sore thumb, I'll bring it to you so that we can hopefully decipher this and figure out what the heck is going on. Because I have no idea what this is. And I don't like that. It's very weird. It's very weird. So to the spirits who are here with us, you're invited to go in peace. To my beloved viewers, you're invited to be at peace. And always remember, the Most High is your peace. Shalom, everyone.